What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. We got to talk a lot about this Redfin report because the housing market is not really doing so well, because you have, on the one hand, a lot of building, a lot of listings on the market, and many of them are coming from the Airbnb industry because the Airbnb industry is going bust. All right, there's still people going out for vacations, don't get me wrong, but there's so many Airbnb properties that majority of them are not making that much money. It used to be super profitable, now it's not. So you got a bunch of listings, but buyers back off. This is exactly what's happening, and this is the latest reports from Redfin, one of the biggest real estate sites in the country. So if you look around, some of the homes on Zillow, for example, are more comfortable on the sites. You see many homes in places, for example, in San Francisco. You also see a lot of homes in Miami and a lot of homes in New York City, for example. And there's a lot of construction. And even if you go to the places like Delaware, right? If you go to like Middletown, these massive suburban neighborhoods that just sell single family homes, look at the amount of price cuts that's happening. You know, $25,000 there, $8,000 here, $11,000 right there, $10,000 right there, $15,000 right there. Like every 4 to 5 homes that you scroll through for these suburban neighborhoods, you always see a price cut. Some more extreme than others. Like this townhouse, it's a good looking townhouse, right? You know, $6,000 price cut. That's insane. There seems to be a massive oversupply that's going on in many of these real estate places. And this is going to continue happening here. So for all the peeps out there who are wanting to buy a home right now, you're in luck, because just wait a little bit and you're going to be seeing even cheaper prices as time goes on. Because come on, like seriously, these homes, some of these aren't really super expensive compared to some of the national averages of big cities, but they're already experiencing some pretty big price cuts. If you go to Jersey, for example, or even Long Island, you're going to be seeing a lot of these homes receiving extremely fat price cuts. And many of these homes are just going to be getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as time goes on. So Redfin is pretty much saying that they're just overbuilding, right? They're overbuilding, and people just don't want to be buying homes, a 30-year mortgage at almost 8%. That's like the stupidest thing you could ever do. And people, of course, don't want to be suckers. They don't want to be the guy who's paying insanely high interest rates when their buddies are just paying 3% because they bought it just a couple years ago. So if you look at this, right, mortgage demand from home buyers drops to a 28-year low, and interest rates are soaring. And this is not great news. All right, if you look at a 30-year fixed mortgage, that's 7.31%. That is extremely high. That's the highest in decades, almost 2 decades, in fact. And the applications are dropping like crazy. People are either, one, paying in cash, but that's extremely rare, or two, they are not buying a home. In fact, many people who have the money for the down payment, 10, 20, 30%, whatever, they're refusing to buy because, one, they know that high interest rates will cause home prices go down. You've seen many of those homes in those suburban neighborhoods that I'm going to be showing you. They're receiving extremely fat price cuts, like this one, $10,000 price cut. You will be seeing a few more ones with like $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 price cuts, and prices are getting cut everywhere. And especially in super big cities like Seattle, for example, you're seeing pretty massive price cuts from condos to townhomes to single family homes. And these condos and buildings are going to be cheaper as time goes on. I mean, look at this one. This is a fantastic unit in downtown Seattle. You even get a garage space, which is pretty lit. And look at this view. Such an incredible view, beautiful unit, and it's already getting like a fat 23 grand price cut, right? If you scroll a little further down, look at this one, $15,000 price cut right there. And it's very rare to see these massive price cuts as time goes on. And what's even crazier is, sure, they got a price cut of 50 grand for this unit, but when this unit actually goes through the transaction process, it's way cheaper. If you look at some of the units that are already sold, it is like 4 to 5% less than what they listed it for. Places like San Francisco, for example, is even worse, right? Prices are falling a lot. Oakland, don't even get me started. It's pretty terrible as well. And like many of these units are getting some of the biggest discounts that we've ever seen in decades. And that's very good for people who want to buy these units. So demand is dropping like a rock here. And check out Oakland, for example. Rents in Oakland have fallen faster than anywhere in the US for a simple reason, because the city has built more housing. Oakland's rent dropped 7.2%, which you could also imagine probably absolutely took down the overall real estate value of many properties in Oakland. And the reason why is Oakland's population isn't rising. In fact, it's actually decreasing little by little. But more importantly is so many of these projects have recently finished up, which is causing decreased rent. And when rent decreases, we all know what happens. Prices of real estate drop even further. So Oakland is a prime example. And this is not just Oakland, guys. If you go around the US, right? If you go to Los Angeles, overproduction of mansions, right? Overproduction of apartments. Go to San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, and even Austin. Just overproduction. They're just making too many of these houses, and it's causing a massive value drop. Even places like Miami, right? Where everyone is saying, oh, Miami real estate is recession proof. But even Miami condos, like Brickell, if you go to downtown, Miami Beach, some of the hottest locations for people to buy, you're already getting many of these units having price cuts. And units like these, many of them are no longer going up in price. In fact, some buildings are even offering discounts and incentives for people to buy in. And this is what we're seeing in many of the US cities, especially the big ones. Now, the smaller suburban ones, they're going to get price cuts here and there, but not as extreme as places like San Francisco, New York City, Chicago, for example, which take up a large chunk of the US real estate market because they're like major cities with multi-billion-dollar deals every year. And look around, right? San Francisco offices are getting emptier, which is also causing many people to go for the office to residential conversion. Places like Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Chicago, New York City all experience a lot of empty office space, which is causing many of those landlords to consider, let's just change the building from an office space to a residential building, which is causing a lot of mayhem in the renting department. As you can see with Oakland, rents dropped 7.2% because they built more housing. Well, what about places like New York City, San Francisco, and Seattle? Big American cities with big tech, big companies commands big rent. But the moment they start doing these office to residential conversions, which they are, it's going to be causing many of these rents to go down. If you go to Manhattan right now, you can actually find a couple massive units, which are turning a big office space to thousands of luxury rental units. But as time goes on, with more and more of these conversions going underway, it's no longer going to be luxury rentals. It's going to be rentals for the average Joe. And with rents slowly going down, and even in some of the hottest places, rents are stagnating, not growing anymore. We're seeing real estate property prices going down. Many people are now selling several of their units on their hands because they simply just can't afford this crazy high interest rate. In fact, many people actually have very, very high amounts of unfixed loans. It's very scary. During the pandemic, it was a smart move to put your money in a place of real estate. People had like 300 grand in cash. Instead of buying one or two houses, they bought like 5 properties and they were just renting them out. But now with rents down, with Airbnb not doing so well, this is taking a massive toll. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment below, like, comment, and subscribe.